or welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know, I am Leisha Nicole. It's been a very long time. I feel like it's been a few years. It's been a couple of years. I think the last video I did might have been 2022, prior to my mom passing away. So yeah, it's been a minute. But a lot of things have happened, a lot of things have changed, and if you're looking at the title of this video, you'll see that I'm just going to be talking about the tax exemptions for different states, which on this list it looks like it's like 51 total. I'm not going to do all 51 in this video. I don't want it long and drawn out. I'll do a part 1, and then I'll do a part 2 so that I can do all of them. But if you're interested and you're a veteran and you want to find out more information, definitely go to your state's website, because you got to think, we have the Department of Veterans Affairs, and then in each state they have different things. So if you're interested in finding out, like, I guess between, I'm going from A to maybe M, yeah, I maybe stop at M, one of those M states. Just stay tuned. So that way you can kind of get a gist of what they're offering for each of these states. Okay, so be back in a minute. So in doing my research for the tax exemption, so recently I applied for it for the state that I live in. And like I said, different states have different regulations on what they do and don't do. So I'm going to start off, and you see me looking down because I do have some notes on my computer that I kind of jot down. So Alabama, you can receive a full property tax exemption if you're 100% disabling rating and over, because it ain't and, is or over the age of 65. The property cannot exceed 160 acres, and it must be a single family home. Also, that must be the veteran's primary residence. Okay, Alaska, veterans with a disability rating of 50% or more may receive tax exemption for up to the first $150,000 of the assessed value of their primary residence. And a lot of them will say it has to be the primary residence. Even if it don't say that, check with the website, check with the state benefits for veterans, because it may, most of them is primary. Just like when you buy primary residence, as I said before, veteran must be a permanent resident of Arizona, and the property assessed value cannot exceed $28,458. Arkansas, disabled veterans who have lost a limb or use of a limb, are totally blind in one or both eyes, or have 100% disability rating, can receive a full property exemption in Arkansas. I say it so crazy. The exemption is valid for all state taxes on the homestead and the personal property owned by the disabled veteran, surviving spouses, as well as as long as they remain unmarried, and the dependent children during their minority. That means that they're minor, may obtain the exemption if the veteran passes. California, 100% disabled veteran rating who is compensated at 100% due to being unemployable. So for here, you have to be unemployable. It may qualify for the tax exemption. So in 2003, qualifying veterans can receive a property exemption of up to $161,083 on the full value of the property, or up to $241,627 for veteran whose annual income does not exceed $72,335. Colorado, veterans with 100% disabled rating in Colorado may receive a tax exemption of 50% of the first 200,000 of the full value of their primary residence. This property tax deferral exists for eligible veterans over the age of 65 and for active duty personnel. Connecticut. Connecticut provides a full property tax exemption for the dwelling for veterans who are service-connected, permanent, and total, disabled rating from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. The tax bills reflecting this exemption will be issued in the fiscal year of 2026. Certain townships may have additional time and service requirements, so you got to check with those townships to see if you fall into any of those. Delaware. So I'm gonna say this. Oh, you know what? I didn't even start off by giving my full disclaimer. I am not a DAV rep. I am not a veteran. I don't work for the Department of Veterans Affairs. I am a veteran that just likes to talk about different veteran issues or different veteran things. And a lot of veterans, I'm just going to say I didn't realize a lot of veterans don't know what they're entitled to. So that's my disclaimer, because I don't got all the way to D and I ain't put out my disclaimer. So I am going to say I used to live in Delaware, and when I lived in Delaware, they were not offering any benefits, as far as being tax exempt for property. But now the veterans 100% disabled rating who hold their residency for at least 3 years may be eligible for a tax credit against 100% of their non-vocational school district property tax. So, that is better than nothing, because at one point they weren't giving them anything. So that's a plus. Next, Florida. Florida veterans of at least 10% disabled ratings are entitled to $5,000 deductions on the assessment of their home for tax purposes. Resident veterans in Florida with a 100% rating may receive a full tax exemption. Other homestead exemptions may exist for veterans over the age of 65 and their surviving spouses. Georgia, 100% disabled rating in Georgia may receive a property tax exemption of up to $50,000 plus an additional sum from paying property taxes for county, municipal, and school purposes, depending on the fluctuating index rate set by the U.S. Secretary of Veterans Affairs. The current amount for 2023, and mind you, this list I've got as of October 2024. So it's telling me the current amount in 2023 was $98,492. Hawaii. Disabled veterans may receive a full property tax exemption of their primary residence if the veteran is 100% disabled as a result of service. Exemptions may vary based on the county of the veteran. And they have, they got 4 different counties. So, like I said, it'd be wise to go to the state's website and kind of see what those exemptions are. Okay. Idaho veterans with 100% disabled rating or who have received 100% compensation due to being unemployable may reduce their property taxes by $1,500 in Idaho. The veteran must own and live in the home of the primary residence before April 15th of 2023. The property must have a current owner's exemption. Mobile homes are also eligible. Illinois. Veterans and surviving spouses in Illinois may qualify for a property tax exemption. Eligibility and exemptions amounts can vary depending on the disability rating. So for Illinois, you don't have to be 100%, obviously, because they're saying it's dependent on your rating. So veterans have recently returned from active duty and armed conflict involving armed forces of the United States. So I feel like you got to be a combat vet. So let's see. Oh, they shoveling snow. It's been snowing. I got stuck in the snow. Indiana. Oh, he sound like he's making a lot of noise too. Indiana. Veterans who served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, or Gulf War receive an honorable discharge and have a disability rating of 10% qualifies for property tax exemption of $24,960 from the assessed value of the veteran's property. Veterans who served in the military for at least 90 days received an honorable discharge and have either total service-connected disability or are 62 years of age and a disability rating of at least 10% for a deduction of $14,000 from the assessed value of the veteran's property. Iowa, veterans 100% service-connected from service-connected causes qualify for a full tax exemption in Idaho. There is a limit on the exemption. The property has to be on less than 40 acres in a rural area and a half an acre in urban. Surviving spouses also can get these benefits. Kansas. Veterans who are 50% or more disabled may receive property tax exemption on the primary residence. Qualifying veterans must be born before January 1st, 1967. So that means you would need to be about 56. I'm thinking we have 56, and it says blind or total and permanent disabled all of 2022, regardless of the age, have a dependent child who lives with the veteran the entire year, was born before January 1st, 2022, and under the age of 18 is the entire year. And then it says the maximum refund is $700. So there's a lot going on in Kansas. There's a lot going on that, yeah, you definitely need to talk to a VSO rep, a VA rep in the state. Like when I went and did mine, I went on to the state's website and I was able to find the office for the county that I'm in, and that's when I called to schedule the appointment. And I just went in and did the appointment. Took all of the paperwork that was required. I looked on the website to see if I had everything, which, you know, is usually like your letter, award letter, DD-214. I have a DD-214 and a DD-215. If any of you have that, and I think I did do a video on making corrections because mine didn't have that I was in conflict. I went to Iraq and it wasn't up there, so I had to get that put. So definitely the site, all of the website, each state would be able to tell you exactly what you need. So when I walked in there, I had everything I needed. The state that I'm in, you can't make over a certain amount of money, and I was right below it. If you do make more, you just have to, like, they have a sheet in there that you got to fill out, just kind of looking at what your bills are, what you pay, what you know. And then the one good thing is when I applied, they had just changed the policy that they were not including your disability income. So that was a plus for me. So they didn't even add none of that. But, okay, so next is Kentucky. Kentucky veterans who are at least 65 years old or totally disabled as a result of military service may receive a tax exemption for up to $46,350 for their primary residence. The limit changes annually for inflation, and this is for 23-24 tax year. Louisiana, veterans in Louisiana who are 100% service-connected with a rating, disability rating, or 100% unemployable from VA may receive a full parish property tax exemption. Veterans with a disability rating of 99 or less, or their spouses may be eligible for a partial property tax exemption of $120,000 based on their rating. Maine, veterans who are at least 62 years old have a disability rating of 100%, service or non-service connected, non-service related, so it doesn't have to be combat veteran. So may qualify for property tax exemption of up to $6,000 in Maine. A veteran who receives federal grants for a specialty adaptable housing unit may be exempt for up to $50,000, which that's pretty good. Maryland, I know Maryland is 100%, if you're 100% disabled veteran, they will exempt the full property taxes for the primary residence. They do also provide those benefits to surviving spouses of military personnel killed in the line of duty. So, Massachusetts, let's see, Massachusetts got a little bit more. Let's see, Massachusetts who have at least 10% disability rating, live in the state for 6 months prior to enlisting, or lived in the state six consecutive years. So that means either this was your home of record, you went in, or you've been living there for the past 5 years, you may receive a tax exemption. The exemption of $400 may be awarded if the veteran is 10% or more disabled. Purple Heart recipients, Gold Star parent, $750 exempt may be awarded if the veteran lost the use of one hand, one foot, one eye. $1,250 if the veteran lost the use of both hands, both feet, in a combination of two. If the veteran is blind in both eyes as a result of service, they may be exempt for $1,500. 100% disabled veterans as a result of service. So Massachusetts got a little more different stuff going on with it. Michigan, 100% disabled service may qualify for full exemption on their primary residence. That's what's up. Minnesota, veterans who are at least 70% rating may have a property exemption of up to $150,000 in Minnesota. 100% disabled veterans can qualify for a higher exemption of up to $300,000. Surviving spouses and military personnel are eligible to receive $300,000 exclusions. And then let's see, Mississippi is in honorably discharged veteran with a service-connected total disability is exempt from all property taxes assessed on their homestead property. Unmarried surviving spouses of eligible veteran homeowners may also qualify. Missouri, 100% rating may be credited up to $1,100 from property taxes on their primary residence. Former prisoners of war also qualify for the exemption. And then the last one that I'm going to do is, not looking at it. My battery died, but I want to say I stopped at Montana. And I want to say veterans and their spouses in Montana may receive property exemption for the primary residence. The veteran has a 100% disability rating. Exemption amounts is based on income and marital status. So those are the only states that I'm going to do right now. I feel like I'm going to do another part so that I can talk about, let's see, from Montana, the next one would be Nebraska. So I'll do Nebraska down to the end of the list in the next video. So for those who are tuned into this video, I hope any of those states that I talked about, or you can also kind of go to the veterans website, which is a state website, so that you can definitely find out what you may be entitled to, what you may be exempt from. So that is definitely it for me today. Again, I'm Alicia Nicole. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.